I've been doing dropshipping for over 2 years, and in that time period, I've made over $6 million between my dropshipping businesses. And in this video, I'm going to expose 5 raw secrets that I've learned on my journey so far. Lesson number 1 has to do with the reason why most dropshippers will be out of business within the next 1 to 2 years. And that reason is over-reliance upon paid advertising. So just imagine 2 farmers, and one of the farmers has rich, fertile soil that when he plants his crops, he has to do very little taking care of them. And the soil alone produces abundant crops year after year. Now, the other farmer has very poor quality soil. He's constantly looking for the most important fertilizers and pest control to ensure his crop even survives. So which farmer do you think is gonna have longer term, more sustainable crop growth? The first one, with the rich, fertile soil. But in business, when you focus on growing big, sustainable, organic traffic growth, that is the equivalent to being a farmer with rich, fertile soil. Because in business, when you're constantly chasing the next winning ad and you're not building a long-term automated traffic growth machine, you are behaving like the first farmer. And it's the same thing with e-commerce. So for example, imagine 2 stores with the exact same website and the exact same customers and the exact same number of customers visiting the website, except one of them has 50,000 free visitors per month through SEO and social media, while the other store has to pay for nearly every person that visits their website through paid ads. So who's gonna win? Obviously the one who doesn't have to pay to acquire their customers. And that is the importance of building an automated traffic engine. Now, paid ads are great in certain scenarios. For example, the benefit of paid ads is when you launch your store, you can turn paid ads on the very next day and start making sales. So it's a great way for beginners to literally shortcut and start making sales right away. But when you're making profit from paid ads, you need to be reinvesting that profit into other areas of your business that are going to be longer term and more sustainable. So here are some excellent ways to build up organic traffic for your store. Number 1 is search engine optimization, also known as SEO. At a high level, SEO means ranking on Google for terms related to your website. If you have a massage chair website, you want to rank on the organic Google search results without paying to be there for terms related to your store. And you do that by posting content on your website and by structuring your website in a certain way. Second is your organic social media presence. So you can do things like post YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, TikToks. And then over time, you can build up a following of people who are all interested in your product type. And you can start showing your own products and offers on your social media where you can get free sales. And lastly, what you want to be building up is a big email list. So how you build your email list is again through social media, driving people to an opt-in page where customers can enter their email in exchange for a gift card or in exchange to enter a draw for a prize. Imagine if you have an email list with 500,000 people on it. Every time you send an email, it's going to result in thousands and thousands of dollars in sales, and you own your email list. So you can send an email without having to pay anything. So just imagine for a second, you have a business with thousands and thousands of free visitors every month. So you have sales coming in on autopilot without you spending $1 in ads. Do you see the importance and how valuable this would be? Now for lesson number 2, more products and more suppliers do not equal more sales. So now consider 2 doctors. One is a high-level brain surgeon who has spent years and years mastering their craft to handle the most complex brain procedures. And every time there's a very wealthy person who needs something done, this person is who gets called. Now the second doctor is just a general practitioner in a small town who knows a little bit about everything, but isn't really an expert on anything. Who do you think makes more? The brain surgeon, of course, right? The brain surgeon probably makes 10, if not 100 times more than the general practitioner. And the reason why is their expertise. Their expertise at one thing, which is brains, is their competitive advantage. And this is a mistake that so many e-commerce store owners make. They want to sell everything and everything. They want more suppliers, more products, more SKUs, more advertising channels, more. And trust me, that is not the way to do it. You want to be a master at one thing. You want to be the store for one winning product type, where every time a customer wants a specific product, you're the store that they go to, and it's not even a question. Because with dropshipping, there can be numerous stores selling the same products from the same suppliers. Now, in my program, we want to focus on suppliers with MAP, and MAP stands for minimum advertised price. So that means if there's 10 stores selling a brand's products, all 10 of those stores have to list at the exact same price point. So when all stores are listing at the same price point, the way to differentiate yourself is things like your website, how many organic visitors you get, your emails, how much of an expert you are at your product type, how much you can help your customers and give them the answers to their questions on your product page. So now just imagine your store set up and you are an expert focusing on just one thing. And when customers come to you looking to buy that thing, you have all the answers right away to help them with a perfectly designed website focused on your one product type so you can absolutely smoke your competition. Do you see how much easier it is for you to win by putting all your focus on just one thing something rather than spreading it out across multiple different niches and products and trying to do 50 different things at once. Now, lesson number 3 is you do not need to dropship forever. Imagine when you were a kid and you first rode a bicycle. Imagine if you went on an adult's bike, drove to the nearest mountain near you, and started ripping down the most challenging trail. You would never do that because you'd probably kill yourself trying to. So at least I started on my own driveway with training wheels, then I moved to my street with training wheels, then eventually the training wheels came off, then I could bike in my neighborhood, and so on. I slowly progressed my way up as I learned to ride a bike. And I recommend that you do the same thing in business. And the reason why I so highly recommend high-ticket e-commerce is the perfect business model for beginners is you get all the upside while taking virtually zero risk. You can quite literally get started for a few $100s and then make thousands of dollars take-home profit when you sell your first item. So it is an exponential return on your investment to get started when you make one sale. But even if you decide not to keep growing your store, there are many things that starting a high-ticket dropshipping business can do for you. First of all, you're gonna learn a whole bunch of skills. So you're gonna learn Google Ads, email marketing, conversion rate optimization, and how to build a nice website, how to do search engine optimization. And maybe when you're learning all these different skills for your website, one of them is really just gonna strike a chord and hit home for you. And then maybe you wanna go all on that one thing to build your store. And then eventually you can take that expertise and offer it through an agency service to other high-ticket e-commerce stores. So I've had people come into my program, build up $1 million stores, and then launch their own Google Ads agency because they got so good at Google Ads while building their website, then they can then take that expertise in Google Ads and offer it to other people. So they have now multiple streams of income. Another huge benefit is when you start a business, you're going to encounter problems. So for me, for example, when I started my high-ticket dropshipping stores, I noticed that it really sucked doing supplier research. Back when I got started, you had to do hours of research. You had to do manual searching on Google to find good suppliers. So this was a big pain point for me as I was building my own company. So what that led to was the idea for my software business, which is now called Supplier HQ. But now we've taken what now used to take hours of manual research, and now you can find winning suppliers in literal seconds just by clicking a few buttons on my software. But the only way I ever got the idea for that software business was from starting my high-ticket dropshipping business. And now finally, you can eventually do what I'm doing now, which is creating my own brand. So you would never want to create your own high-ticket e-commerce brand from scratch when you got started, because I've invested well over into $100,000 in my first batch of inventory and the website and doing everything perfectly. It's a very big investment. Start with a high-ticket dropshipping store where there's no risk, master the skills, build the store, build a profitable business. And once you've done that for a year or two and you have the expertise, you have the skills, then you are in a better position to make a big investment into your own brand. Lesson number 4 is quality suppliers are king. So many of you may know what the Pareto principle is. At a high level, the Pareto principle means so in any garden you find, 20% of the plants or the trees are gonna bear 80% of the fruit. And it's the same thing in e-commerce. 10 to 20% of your suppliers are gonna make up the large majority of your sales. And there are numerous examples of this in all aspects of life. 20% of employees do 80% of the work. 20% of the world's roads have 80% of the traffic. 20% of people account for over 80% of the volunteered hours worldwide. And it's no different with your business. 80+% of your sales are gonna come from 10 to 20% of your suppliers. And these suppliers are what I call A+ suppliers. Now, there's no way to determine for sure a supplier is an A+ supplier, but they do have common characteristics. First, they usually have high branded demand. So brand demand means the number of people typing their brand name into Google every month. So if there's thousands of people going to Google and typing in a brand's name, that's a vote in favor of them being an A+ supplier. Second is MAP and force. MAP stands for minimum advertised price. Third is high priced items. Ideally, we want them to have items that cost over $3,000 with high profit margins. So if we have a 40% profit margin item that costs $8,000, then we're gonna make $3,500 profit from selling just one item. And by working with these suppliers is a huge shortcut because as a complete beginner, we can list their products on our website and we can leverage their brand name. So then when customers type their brand name into Google, our website will come up as an authorized dealer or a seller of their products. And because we have these partnerships with these high-end, well-known name brands, customers are automatically going to trust us. And that is how people like Cabrin have come in as complete beginners and got single orders for $168,000 from a Las Vegas Strip hotel. Now, the Las Vegas Strip hotel did not transfer Cabrin $168,000 because they liked his brand or they liked his website. No, they were searching up a specific brand on Google and Cabrin's website popped up. So they automatically trusted him because of that partnership enough to pay him that insane amount of money. So this is a huge hack. By starting in e-commerce and instead working with these brands that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years, we get to leverage their brand name, which puts us miles and miles ahead. Customers are visiting your virtual showroom, seeing brands that they already know and trust. And when they visit your store, they already have their credit card in hand, ready to pay you. And making sales with these name brands feels as smooth as slicing chasing butter because your customers already trust the brands that you're selling for. Isn't that an absolutely insane shortcut for any new business owner? Lesson number 5, focusing on your take-home profit, not your revenue. So imagine you see a nice, new, shiny, perfect looking apple. And then you take a bite and it's rotten to its core. That is what your business is like if you're focusing on your revenue and not your profit. You see these people on social media posting screenshots with hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales, and some of them are making zero or virtually zero profit. And even I've done this to a lesser degree myself. So at one point I was scaling my business too quickly and I was seeing my margins go down below where I wanted them to be. So I started focusing on a lot of what I've talked about earlier in this video. And I brought my return on ad spend, which is every dollar I spend on ads, how much am I getting back? So it was dropping to around $8 or $9 in sales for every dollar I spent on ads. So I then brought that up to over $15 in sales for every dollar I spent on ads. So my revenue actually dropped 30 to 35%, but our take home profit was actually higher because I started focusing on my profit and how to improve my profit margins rather than just trying to grow my business as quickly as I can. Always focus on the profit number only. That is the only thing that matters. If you want to test out my supplier software, you can access it in the description at www.supplierhq.io. And if you want to check out my new exclusive training that shows you how to go from absolutely zero to over $10,000 profit per month, I'll put the link to that in the description as well. And if you want to work directly with me and my team on building your first ever high ticket e-commerce business, then you can click the book a call link in the description. If you want to keep up with me more in my day-to-day life where I share updates every single day, please go follow me on my Instagram at ecomwithbrooke. And if you took any value out of this video at all, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers.